we explore one of the most important and sensitive political rivalries in East Africa, the long and complex competition between Somalia and Somaliland. This rivalry is more than a local dispute. It affects security, trade, diplomacy, and the strategic balance of the entire Horn of Africa. To understand where the region is going, we must understand how this rivalry began and why it still matters today. Somalia was formed in 1960 after two territories united, British Somaliland in the north and Italian Somaliland in the south. The unity was hopeful in the beginning, but political tension, dictatorship and war slowly destroyed that dream. When Somalia collapsed in 1991 and the central government fell, Somaliland declared that it was no longer part of the union. It returned to its former separate status and began building its own system of governance. Since then, Somalia and Somaliland have taken different paths. Somalia has struggled for many years with civil conflict and instability, but with support from international partners, it has slowly rebuilt a federal government, strengthened its security forces, and re-established diplomatic relations. Somaliland, on the other hand, has built a functioning self-governing system with its own parliament, military, currency, elections, and administrative structure. Even though it is stable and organized, the world has not given it formal recognition. This situation creates a political tension that has lasted more than 30 years. Somalia insists that Somaliland is part of its territory and that the unity of 1960 cannot be reversed. Somaliland argues that the union failed and that it has the right to independence. Both sides believe they are correct, and both sides have supporters inside and outside the region. But the real question today is who controls the future of the Horn of Africa. So, to answer that, we need to look at strengths, weaknesses, and regional influences. Somalia holds a powerful advantage, international recognition. It has a seat at the United Nations, the African Union, IGAD, and the Arab League. Countries such as Turkey, the United States, Qatar, the United Kingdom, and the European Union support Somalia's government and invest in its stability. This recognition means no country can officially deal with Somaliland on a state-to-state level. Recognition gives Somalia diplomatic weight. Somaliland's advantage is its stability. For more than 3 decades, it has maintained peace with its own security forces. It organizes elections, maintains law and order, and provides a level of stability that many recognized countries struggle to achieve. Its location on the Gulf of Aden makes it strategically valuable. The port of Berbera is attracting international interest and, its proximity to Ethiopia gives it enormous economic and political importance. But the rivalry between Somalia and Somaliland is not only shaped by them. Regional and global powers also play major roles. Ethiopia, with more than 120 million people, desperately needs access to the sea. Djibouti currently controls almost all Ethiopian trade, and Ethiopia wants alternatives. Somaliland, with its long coastline and potential for port development, is an attractive option. Any partnership between Ethiopia and Somaliland could reshape the regional balance. Djibouti sees this as a threat. Its economy depends heavily on being Ethiopia's main trade route. If Somaliland becomes an alternative, Djibouti could lose billions. Kenya also watches carefully, since stability in Somalia affects its own security and economic plans, especially around Lamu port. Across the Red Sea, the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia view Somalia and Somaliland as important to their Red Sea strategy. The United Arab Emirates has already invested in Berbera, showing its interest in the region's ports and shipping routes. The United States and European countries focus on counterterrorism, maritime security, and stability, meaning they closely watch both Somalia and Somaliland. When we connect all these details, one thing becomes clear. The future of the Horn of Africa will be shaped by alliances, stability, and economic opportunity. Somalia's diplomatic recognition gives it power. Somaliland's stability and geography give it influence. But neither side controls the future alone. They are both part of a larger regional competition where Ethiopia, Djibouti, Kenya, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, the United States, and even China have deep interests. This leads to 3 possible futures. So, there are really three possible futures for this region. The first is Somalia becoming fully stable and unified, building strong institutions and achieving long-term peace. If this happens, Somalia could become a major regional power because of its long coastline, strategic location, and natural resources. The second future is Somaliland gaining recognition. This would change the map of East Africa and create a new coastal state with influence over global trade routes. But, recognition is difficult because the African Union fears encouraging other breakaway regions. The third possible future is continued competition in the region. Somalia and Somaliland continue their rivalry. Ethiopia searches for sea access. Djibouti protects its economic advantage. The Gulf states expand their influence, and global powers maintain military and economic interests. And honestly, this scenario is already happening now. So, which future is most likely? Right now, continued competition seems the closest to reality. Somalia still faces security and political challenges. Somaliland still struggles for recognition. Ethiopia is still seeking a path to the sea. Djibouti is protecting its monopoly. And, global powers continue to compete over influence, ports, military bases, and trade routes in the Horn of Africa. In the end, the future of the Horn of Africa will be shaped by whichever side offers the most stable governance, the most reliable economic opportunities, and the strongest alliances. It will not depend on history alone. It will not depend on recognition alone. It will depend on who can build trust, create security, and offer value to the rest of the world. Somalia and Somaliland both stand at critical crossroads. Their decisions in the coming years will influence not just their own political destiny, but also the direction of the entire region. Whether the Horn of Africa moves toward unity, division, or greater competition will depend on how these two players navigate their rivalry and how the world responds to it. Thank you for watching. If you want more deep analysis and clear explanations like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. The region is changing fast, and together we will follow every development.